All right, hi, welcome to my live tutorial for orchestra directors on how you can use the Acapella app to help your students practice together at home in their own time. And well, they can't be at rehearsal right now, which is kind of tough for everybody. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your app store and you're gonna get this app. There's so much glare. It's the Acapella app. It looks like a red square with like microphones. That's the app, and this will allow your students to collaborate together from the comfort of their homes. Once you've downloaded the app, you're going to go through and sign up for a free account. I recommend the free account, especially since they're just doing practicing small sections or segments at a time from measure here to here. The free app for the time limit is more than sufficient for this purposes, and hoping that we're only in this situation for a couple of weeks max. But here we go. It allows them to keep practicing at home, which is great. Once you download the app and you get signed in, this is what the screen will look like, their general page. I think the Acapella app is for artists who put out content where they harmonize with themselves on many screens, but you can also collaborate with someone like a practice partner, and then you will be able to put together one piece with all the parts. Here we go. So you're going to press the little red record, the project button, which is the red box that looks just like the icon. And it's going to bring you to record a project. Now I have an unfinished project because I was showing some things. I'm going to record new to walk you through it from the beginning. Now, I want to let you guys know that on this YouTube Live, if I happen to disappear, I'm going to come back on. YouTube right now is glitching a lot. They are flagging a lot of content that is not inappropriate. Like I was doing this live earlier for my students with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and they flagged the content as inappropriate content because I was playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, which I checked is part of the public domain. So for the purposes of this live, I'm just going to do scales and arpeggios, which I can't imagine they would flag as copyrighted material. But if for some reason YouTube shuts this down, I'm going to go live right back up again, so just refresh your page. Also make sure to take off your autoplay on your YouTube so it doesn't just keep running down all the videos on your feed. Okay, so you're at this step now and you're going to hit record new. And I'm going to do a new project. For those of you just tuning in, I noticed a couple more just popped on. This is the app that we're talking about. It's called Acapella. It looks like a red box with two microphones in it. So here we go. When you have the free version, you want to select the classic box, not the premium, because you don't have the premium version. So here you can record up to, I think it's like 9 or 10 part harmonies. I think for the most part, you won't need that many. So right now, I'm just going to show you, let's say I'm going to do practice with 4 parts. Violin, two, viola, cello. So I'm going to select the one that's 4 boxes. And I'm going to just do a 15-second sample for you right now. Keep it nice and short. Get my instrument ready. And press next. And it brought up an ad. It might do that to you. It doesn't do that on mine. Okay, so let's say as violin 1, I'm going to start in this first box. I selected the box. I'm going to press the little red record button. I'm going to stand so it can see me, you can see me, hopefully. Okay, and I'm going to record. It's going to count down, and I'll record at the beginning of the countdown. And you record to the end of the segment. So I'm going to hit continue. And now I, as violin 1, I'm going to send this to the violin 2 player who's going to layer on top of that. So I'm going to go share. Now, here's the important part. There's multiple ways you can share this: public, private, or collaboration. Tell all your students to not choose the public one. We're trying to protect the kids' privacy. If they're the first, second, or not the last person, they're going to select collaboration because they have to pass the project on to the next person to add their part. So here's the important part: collaboration. It's the third one down. I wonder if you can see it better, if there's any way. The screen has like a white glare. Okay, collaboration. And I choose email. Email is easier. There's texting, but email, nice and easy. The second person to get it should do earbuds because they want to be able to hear directly to their ear the first person's part as well as their own instrument. Because me having the instrument right next to my ear here, it's going to be hard to hear something coming from there. So I'm going to email this to myself. I set up 2 accounts. This is my business account. Now we're going to open the project up in my personal account on my phone. So I'm going to go to my email, and very shortly, in about a second or 2, I'm going to see the email come in from Acapella. And here it is. And I click on it. It brings me to this email. You can't really see that, but there's a link. Okay, so when I click this link, it's going to pull up the project right in the Acapella app, and there I am. It's pulling up what I just played on the iPad, which is a separate account. Now I'm going to add on to the second box, and I'm going to be, let's say, violin 2, harmonizing that scale. I'm doing a scale because I ran this tutorial earlier for my students, and I showed them how to do Twinkle, but YouTube flagged it as copyright content. So for some reason, if YouTube kicks me off, you will just refresh your page and come right back on because I'm going to restart another live. So the second person should put in the earbud so that they can hear the sound directly to their ear and play along as they're playing their part. So that makes it easier to record. So the first thing that they're going to get when they get the collaboration, how do I get it with no glare? Oh my gosh. I don't think you can see this super well. There's a button, it says collaboration, just click on that. If you're at home kind of playing along and doing this, that's great. Okay, it's asking if I want to do a new project. Yes, okay. So now I am the violin 2 person, and I am adding on the next part. Okay, so I'm going to press the second box, and I'm going to add into this spot. And I'm going to press the red record button, and it's going to count down, and then I'm going to come in and play my part on top of that. Here we go. Okay, and I'm going to hit continue. When I hit continue, it's going to render the 2 of them together. And I'm going to show you now what that's going to be. I need 2 hands. Okay. All right, so the project, and I'm going to hit continue. Here's what it looks like. It's going to put the 2 projects together. So you notice the person who made the project was my iPad, and it came to me as the next person. And now I, as the violin 2, I'm going to send this off to the viola player. So now I'm going to send it to this one, and I'm going to click the green checkbox, and it's going to render the project and it's going to allow me to share it. And remember, we're sharing it via collaboration. There's 3 possible ways to share something. They are public, don't do the public share, private, or collaboration. The only one who would share via private is the final person to add on to the project to turn it into the teacher to check their work. Right now, I'm passing on to the 3rd player, so I'm pressing collaboration. It's the 3rd one down, collaboration, and then email. You're probably wondering why I'm getting really specific about constantly saying the collaboration one, because I've already done this with my students a few times and they sent me a complete file for me to add on. And I'm like, no, collaboration, so the next person can add their part, so I can harmonize with them. So it's doing its rendering and it's uploading. And I'm going to send it to my joint email. Okay, and send. Now this project is going to pass on to the next person, this phone. Okay, so now this next person is the viola player. And I think this sort of, what am I playing as the viola player? Okay, let's say my part is a drone. And I'm going to wait for the email to come in. It should be here any second, within, well, it was pretty quick last time. So far we've recorded in box 1 is the violin 1 player, box 2 is the violin 2 player, passing on to box 3 person to fill in is the viola player. It's gonna be, so it looks like the app is now limiting the trial version to either 15-second or 30-second clips. For some reason, I think I'm grandfathered into minute-long clips, so I've been able to do minute-long clips with my students, but for now, if they're practicing 30-second clips, you know, assign spot work from this measure to this measure, and then they get cut off before the part is done, then what you're going to do is just have them start a couple measures back and then go forward from there. All right, I think it's because this one is not on the internet right now. I need to get this one set up. So hold 1 second, please. Hang on, I need you to get this device on the internet. That device on the internet, please. Okay, while he's working on that, I'm going to show you a project that my student sent me earlier today and how I'm going to add on to her project. So you see me as one person sending it to me, but I'm going to show you this one that I have, Twinkle project. Yeah. Okay, this one should be online now. Okay, back to where we were. Sorry about that, guys. Technology fails. Okay, I have it. Now, this is the violin 2 sending it on to the viola player. Okay, I clicked on it, it pulls it up in the app. Okay, there it is. Look at that. It's going to replay. Okay. That was the earlier one. Okay. In this one, you can see that, I'm going to show you later, but you can see that what I did on that one is put in one of the boxes a metronome time so that all the players are following that metronome time. Because if you send it to if you have the first person set it up and then as the violin 1 player, but they're not playing on tempo, then everyone thereafter is going to have to follow them. So what I did for this one was set a metronome in the first box, and everyone is following that metronome box. Okay, come on. It should pull up the other project that I had just sent on. Yeah, this is the one. It should pull up the project. Yeah, there we go. Yes, here we go. This is the one that we just did just now. I'm gonna now hit the collaboration button. It auto-played the previous project that I had in there. Okay, now here I am. New project, yes. You want to continue. It will remove your previous project. And it's importing the new project. And now I, as the viola player, I'm going to add on by pressing the next box. Doesn't really matter which box they put theirs in. And I'm going to press, okay, grab the viola. Let's say maybe I want a drone on a low D. Okay, we're going to press the red record button. It's going to count down. This is also another one where the third person or every person thereafter should do earbuds, but I'm going to keep it a drone so I don't have to exactly time everything perfectly if I can't hear this part. Okay, I'm going to press record, and you're going to hear the other parts play. So I'm leaving it non-headphones so you guys can hear that this third person will now hear both the other two parts as they play with them. It's going to count down. Okay, when I press continue, it's going to play for you all three of the parts. Okay, and then you would send it on to the next person, just like we had done by doing the share and share collaboration. Now, I don't have a cello, I'm not a cellist, so I'm not going to fill in the fourth box, but what I am going to do is show you a project that a student sent to me, the Twinkle that she had sent. And it should open it up on here. Okay, so she sent me, it will bring up the project. Yeah, it does. And I'm going to, so this is a student sent me her project. I'm going to hit collaboration. I'm going to remove my current project so it's in there. And okay. So you can see here that this is a student of mine, and I'm going to add into the bottom box. She did the duet one. Oh, how did I add the metronome? Great question. Thank you, Laura, for asking. I'm going to show you that. Do you guys want to see this? How I harmonize with a student that sent theirs to me first, or do you want me to show you how to add the metronome right now? So go ahead and comment. I can either continue on with this and then show you how to add the metronome later, or I can, is one able to save these projects? Yes, in a way, I don't know exactly how Acapella works. I kind of just started using it. Yeah, finish where you, okay, sure. That's a great question. Somehow all my test projects that I put in there, just to play some songs through to see how they sound together, how parts sound together, all saved when I go to my profile. I didn't intend to save them. Theirs is like a save or not save. But I know that, so this project that the student sent me, I already added on to it and sent it back to her. So when you render the project to finish, you just send the private link, and that's the finished project where it is in that spot. I think how it works is it's like a tree with branches. And so this is the project she sent me. And I added on May Song on top of her Twinkle to show her how they go together. And I sent that back to her as a finished project, back to the trunk. And then I'm taking this one that she sent me originally, and I'm breaking it off, and I'm gonna add another harmony onto this. And where did I put my earbuds? I would need the earbuds to do this because she's not exactly playing on tempo, like on a steady beat. So I have to really listen and follow her. So I'm going to add on to this project. So then what happens is this becomes like another project that I can finish with a different harmony line and send to the private shared link, which finishes the rendered project. And then she can then take that link and share it with her grandparents, with her uncles, aunts, etc. On this, I am going to show you how to do the metronome on there as well, because yeah, I highly recommend that. That's a good one that you send out to your students with one blank one that you have them play onto, so that each person is not trying to follow the one person. Like even if you told the first person to play with the metronome, that's trusting that they can stay with the metronome, and not all my students can do that. So if you have one of the boxes as the metronome, keeping the time, everybody has to follow that one, and you're able to see who is following the pacing box, let's call it that. Okay, I'm going to add on to this twinkle that my student did so you can see that it really is two separate people. She sent this to me earlier today. All right, here we go. Continue, and it's going to count down again. Two, one. Okay, so I have to really follow her there. Also, there was a little, her baby brother was giggling in the background. So now I'm going to show you how I did that. And it's much easier with the earbuds. I tried to do this earlier today, and oh my gosh, I could not follow her without the earbud in. Okay, so. Okay, so that's just to show you that it really is two separate people, and I collaborated, and now like, here's what I had done for her. What we could do is, so you guys are orchestra teachers, but I'll just quickly tell you what I'm doing for some of my private students, because a FaceTime lesson, it's not in real time, and I can't play with them. I recorded their part. I sent it to them to record their part in unison. I had them send the collaboration project back to me to then record the harmony, overwriting my first box. As long as they send it back to me via collaboration, the project is still open, and I can edit, I think, either box. But if they send it, like finish the project and just do the private share link, and they send it back to me, then the project is finished, no one can add onto it, it's just done. So let's say now this is a done project, I am the last person to add on to this, and I'm gonna turn it into the teacher. So I'm gonna click the green button, green check box, and it's going to render the project, and it's gonna bring you up to that screen where you can share, okay? See, there's a little blue share button, and I'm going to scroll down to private. So I recommend they not share it publicly. So there's 3 possible ways to share it. You'll see if I go it this way, it whites it all out, or it looks like it does to me anyway. So this way it looks like I can see it. Private, public, private, and collaboration. To finish the project, we're selecting private, and just to send it in to the teacher. You can, when they email it, they can, in the email to part, they can send it to the teacher and all of the collaborators. Like when you get violin 1 to send to violin 2, to send to viola, to send to the cello practice groups, the cello person, when they're done with the project, can send it to these 3, back to these 3, plus the teacher can get the final project. And that way, the ones who contributed before, the final person, can also see the finished product. Okay, so I'm gonna email this to myself as the finished project. And this is the final twinkle. Final twinkle. And that one's a closed project now because I did not send it collaboration, which means it's still an open project. I sent it private link, it's a done project. It goes to a link, which if they open it on their phone, it's going to open it up in the Acapella app. But if they open it up on their computer, it's just going to open it in a web browser. For example, they could send this link now to grandparents and be like, hey, check out what I played today. And grandparents like, oh, awesome. And it's like we're creating more connection. We're creating more connection amongst our students as a way for us to be able to help them stay on beat and in tune, and as a way for them to connect with grandparents also stuck at home, kind of probably missing their kids. And I'll try to send you guys the link. Okay, so awesome. Thank you, Laura, for helping those just tuning in if they missed the beginning. Okay, so here I am on this final one. Let's see, can I share this back to, so here's what's interesting, right? So let's say you're the teacher and you started a project for everyone. Like I said, I think that's how it works. Again, I don't have enough test people to try this out, but let's go back to here, the original project. Notice how by this step, 3 people, violin 1, violin 2, viola, are in. No, just a cappella. Chantal, I'm going to show you what the app looks like. It is not on this phone, it's on this one. It's a red square with they look like 2 microphones. So it's just called Acapella. So if you go in your app store, it's just called Acapella. Okay? Good? Let me know that you got it. No worries at all. Anyone else just tuning in now, this is the one that we're talking about how this works. Okay, here we go. We're back to, now notice there's 3 by the 3rd person who got it, but the original person still only has the 1 because they haven't shared it back to them. If I did share it back to, then I could, as long as it was shared via collaboration, I can edit any box. Okay, so we're going to cancel this project and I'm going to show you how did I do the metronome. So I'm going to start a new project and I'm going to record new and I'm going to overwrite that project. Yes, I want to do that. I'm going to select classic view. Let's say I want to send this to 2 sections, right? I want to make sure that the violas and cellos in a spot where their part really talks to each other. I'm going to select a box that has 3 boxes because as the teacher, I want to set the metronome timing for them. And then the viola player can fill in 1 box and the cello player can fill in the other box. You're going to assign like practice pairs, practice groups. I mean, however, I don't know how you guys are managing right now as a private teacher. Like, we're pivoting real fast and getting super creative. But as orchestra teachers, you got a whole class of kids and they got to be able to play all together. Like this probably won't be easy to do that. You can assign like groups. Some of the boxes can play in unison together. You can like send one out to the entire violin section. You can see how you can have up to, oh, I already selected the 3. Let me cancel out of there. So you can see how many you can have up to. Okay, so see, you can have this many, this many, this many, this many. What is the total? I think it's like up to 9 or 10 parts. So, I mean, you probably don't have a 9 or 10 parts. Well, I mean, bass, 5. If you have a string orchestra, but then you add on flutes, clarinets, horns, like trumpets. So, yeah, I mean, it's possible for you to have up to 10 parts. If you assign 1 practice partner from each part, they can put together a little section. You could also just assign like an entire section to play in unison together and see how well they are playing in unison together. So you can just send this one out to your entire violin section and all 9 violins add into this one. Yeah, it is true that this would be much easier for private lessons. Yeah, I mean, what to do with the kids without the concerts. Harmonizing, practice drills. anything to just continue keeping their skills of playing together as an ensemble. Is there going to be an end of year concert? Are there evaluations at the end? Some kids still have their orchestra competition trip at the end of the year, like Six Flags, like one of the parks. Are there certain skills that they need to be able to keep up? A certain spot works on an orchestra piece that they are, like the group is not sounding together, and like we need to spot work this and make sure when you come back to school, this is going to sound together. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you to decide what the metrics are that you need your students to be able to do. You're adjusting really quickly on your curriculum, and then what is the, what you have to accomplish this year. Things are changing by the day, by the hour, and everybody's doing the best they can. This is one option as a way to help your students feel connected to each other, and you can assign certain measure here to here. It's an option. Okay, so how to do the metronome. I just brought up a metronome on one device, and I just stuck it in front of the camera as it recorded a whole box of the metronome. So I'm going to go plus, and I'm going to put the phone in front of the camera, and I'm going to press record, and I'm going to press go on the metronome. Okay, I'm going to turn off the metronome. It got it, so one entire box is the metronome. So now you can send this off to the next player, or the first player, who will follow that metronome beat, and every subsequent player will follow that metronome beat. So let's say this player is me. You could, as the teacher, just set the metronome timing on one of the boxes and then just send that link off to your class. And it's up to them to add on their part and then send it to the next part. Okay. Do you guys kind of get the gist now? Like, I don't think I have to run through this again and again and again. I mean, some of you weren't tuned in from the beginning, but see, finding the app. Yes, I'm gonna show you what the app looks like. Thank you, Laura. The full name of the app is Acapella from Pick, Play, Post. And it looks like this. If you guys want me to keep going with the demo to show you how it works, especially if you missed from the beginning and I don't know at what part you tuned in and how much you saw, like how to pass it on, then please comment and let me know to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to open it up to Q&A. Hey, Denise, thanks for tuning in again. Do you have any questions now that you've seen a couple other features? Like what you didn't see yesterday was me playing with the student because they hadn't turned in their assignments yet, even though I gave this assignment to them on Monday. It's all right. Finally turned it into teacher by Thursday. I thought some would be like, I think everyone's overloaded with so much information right now, and they're getting trained on how to do school from home on online platforms. Hey, Susan. Oh, thank you. Are there any features of this that you have questions on that you want to see? There were some questions last night with the private studio teachers, which were, can you have multiple projects going on at the same time? I think so, but I'm trying to run that test. And it's a new platform for me. I think so is the answer. Like I can start a project and send that off because that link is a unique link and it opens up that project. I don't know. I've never actually looked into it, but they do give a 7-day free trial on the premium. So try it out and see what the premium we'll see what it costs and then find out. Yeah, it may actually be worth it to invest in it to get the full features and open up so there's no time limit. But for now, for the purposes of practicing, just to have something, like I feel bad making students pay for extra things. A few of us should make one for fun and practice. Yeah, I would highly recommend you play around with the app before you go sending it out to students. Like test it out. Like feel free to send it to me to test if you want someone to play around with. Awesome, you found it, Chantel. Chantel. Oh, different image. That's weird. I'm glad you found it though. Yeah, again, I don't want to make students pay for anything. The free version, I think now gives you up to 30 seconds. I'm somehow grandfathered into the free version that gave me up to a minute. Yes, so, but I mean, when they're practicing, like they should be practicing their spot works. They're not going to run through their entire orchestra piece, especially if a lot of their parts are duh, rest, 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 right? So they're going to be targeting specific spot works in their orchestra music to practice. How did I find this app? So, on YouTube, some of my friends, my ones who perform a lot more, they use this app. So I think this app is made for performers who put out their own content and they can harmonize with themselves. And a bunch of them were putting out stuff, and I was like, oh, how did you record yourself harmonizing with yourself in multiple windows? And how did you like make it overlap exactly right? Because I could take a video of myself and take a video of myself, but then how do I overlay it in the same screen and everything? And they told me about this app, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So what I've been using it for is just to test out material. Like before I run a chamber session, I'll go through some songs and I'll play all the parts for myself in the app to hear how it sounds like together. And then I know, does it sound like, do I want to run this with the group? And also, I can look at any of the individual parts and determine if each part will have enough, not be bored. But the hearing what it sounds like altogether, because some arrangements out there are kind of like, you get to the concert at the end of the year and you're like, or in the first rehearsal and you're like, oh, not this one. Okay, let's change. Okay, give me back your music. Here's a new set. So I plan ahead by playing through the songs and all the parts so I can hear what it's going to sound like. That's how I heard about this app. Yes, that's what I've been doing. That's exactly right, Laura. For your middle school kids, you'll record yourself as number one, send it around to each person in the section, and then they have exactly. That's what I've been doing for my private students, that I cannot play live time with them on FaceTime because there's just a bit of a lag. So I record it, I send it to them to play along with in unison, and then if they want, they can send it back to me as collaboration, and I'll replace my pacing box as the harmony, because then I know they're on time. Have you tried? I haven't tried other apps like this. If there are others that you guys find more useful, please do share with as many teachers as you can. I tried to put the word out for this as widespread as I could in every network I'm connected with. I am curious, how did you guys hear about this live that I'm doing here tonight? Did you hear about it on Facebook, through Asta, through Suzuki, through a colleague who I told to share, feel free to share with your colleagues. I'm curious. Yes, Chantel, if you find another app that does this and more, then please share. That's awesome. Yeah, I know, my inbox is getting flooded these days, like so many, how we're dealing with the coronavirus, I can't read them all, it's too much. Yeah, you're welcome, Chantel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this is helpful to you guys. Like, I feel the most for you orchestra directors, because us private teachers, we've been able to pivot quicker in the response to just move lessons to FaceTime. But as an orchestra director, you can't just do that with your class. I hope this gave you a little insight into how this app works and how you could use it to run some little practice exercises to send out to your class to do. And awesome. All right, so any final questions before I say goodbye? However you heard about this app, you probably have my contact information, because how else would you have heard about it? So reach out to the person. If you don't have my contact information, reach out to the person who told you about this. And if it was me on Facebook or somehow, just send me a message if you have any questions. I'm happy to help you. I'm also happy to run some test ones with you back and forth. If you want to test out a few features, like how many projects can you have open at a time, and you need to send some out to a colleague and a student and see, can you? I think each project is its own like tree, and each time you send it out, the person adding on makes a new branch. And because I have multiple projects out to multiple students right now, and no one's kicked back anything saying, oh, I can't do this, because I think each link is a unique URL. So again, not a lot of them have turned back their homework assignment into me yet for me to be able to tell for sure. So I am happy to play around with it with you all more, just to test out its features. What can we do? How would you need to use it in terms of outreach to your students? Yeah, that's true. Good question. I don't know, and I don't know what the premium features. Can you create folders with these files? It's a great question. I have no idea. I don't know. Again, I don't know what the premium offers. I only have the free version, but I will tell you something. When I shared it with one of my students, I did not. I thought all of my projects were private because I didn't share any of mine publicly. But somehow, the little bottom part of mine, which was activity, had like a red dot, and you know how like on Instagram or whatever, if you have a red dot or a pink dot, it means you have notifications and messages. And so I was like, oh, that's weird. I've never seen that before, because I've only used it myself. This is the first time I shared it with my students. And one of my students went and liked a bunch of my videos. And I'm like, wait, how can she see all my videos? I only shared with her her one homework assignment. And I'm like, oh, crap. But it does turn out, I went and clicked on my profile, and like all the test videos I have done are in there. Some of them have like a little world icon at the bottom of it, and I think that means public, and some of them have a little linky thingy, and I think that's private. And it looks like the ones that she liked are only the ones that have the little world on it, so I don't know if I somehow accidentally made it public. But I thought I was only sharing all of them privately. So I was a little shocked to see that. I was like, oh crap, these weren't like good takes. They were just me to kind of test and see how these songs would fit together. And she went and liked all of them. And I'm like so embarrassed because they were not good. They were just, okay, that's how this song sounds. Great. Okay, I'll use this. Oh, I don't like how that arrangement is. I'm not going to use this for my students. That was a great question, Patricia. Anyone else with a question? Yeah, just tell them to only click collaboration when they're passing it on to the next person, or click private. I think I was doing some things really quick, and I think I wasn't watching, but yeah, the privacy thing is big. Just tell them to be really, really sure that they're selecting private when they're done with the final project. Create collage to start? I guess so. I mean, you press this little red button in the center of your app. It looks like the icon. It's a red square, and it just brings you to this, and you click record new. Create collage. Mine doesn't say collage. I wonder if you're in a different app, because when I ran this live last night, one of the private studio teachers said, I found another app called Acapella, but it doesn't look like the one that you're showing us right now. So maybe you found another one. But maybe create collage to start is what it is, because they kind of look like a collage. It's possible you don't have the right app. Because the one that I have looks like this. And I know you earlier said the one that you have doesn't look like this. So maybe you have a different one. It's just Acapella, A-C-A, 1P, E-L-L-A. So 2 L's, 1P. Yeah, you mean mine might be older? I just grabbed the screenshot today from the App Store, and also I downloaded the app onto the iPad yesterday. Oh, so Denise, yours has a 1-minute recording ability? Because the latest one I just downloaded has only 15-second or 30-second increments. But the one that I have has up to, has a 1 minute, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and 1 minute recording capability. And I think it's just because I'm grandfathered in on this. All right. Hey, this is the first time YouTube has not bumped me off. I'm glad I made it all the way to the end. I'm gonna see if I can save this, and the lighting, I don't know, you're probably seeing, maybe it's just me who's seeing just only white glare. When I hold the phone up to the screen, no, I need a white screen. When I hold the phone up, like, do you see white glare, or do you actually see something nice? Like, it just looks white to me. You can actually see it and it looks fine? Okay, so maybe it's not so bad. Oh, you see the glare too. Yeah, this isn't a super great take. I'm gonna try to re-record in a way that doesn't give glare and try to condense this. You're welcome, Patricia. Yeah, we're just using any resources we have right now. We have to get super creative, and we have to pivot real fast, and just go with the flow. And I saw this and I was like, hey, this could be useful. I wonder if other people know about this, because it's pretty cool, and at least I'm using it a lot, and it's helping. All right. Yes, I must go too. So thank you all for tuning in. Reach out if you have any questions, however you heard about this. You must somehow have a connection to me. If not directly, then through a colleague who has my contact info. So take care, have a great night. Good work, everyone, and everything you're doing. If you haven't heard it enough, you are doing amazing. You're doing great. Keep in mind, right now, we are all in a probably shock, probably grief, probably a lot of things. Like, a lot of things hit me today that I didn't realize I was carrying, just because I was go, 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 go. And yeah, keep doing what you can. And I know that we as teachers feel so much for our students, and we want to do things that help them, and we want so much to keep teaching and keep helping them and do whatever it takes to help them through this. And the reason I started doing this is because I wanted my students to be able to connect while they're stuck at home. I wanted them to have an opportunity to feel connected. And I hope that if you do use this for your orchestra members, I mean, a Zoom class, yeah, you could run it, but they're not going to be playing perfectly together. It's fine for you to disseminate information and then to kind of, I don't know, it's not ideal. None of this is ideal. But yeah, I'm hoping this allows the students to connect and collaborate together in the comfort of their own homes, on their own time, so that you give an assignment and maybe you give a 24-hour turnaround, and that, you know, part one has to send off their part to the next person by noon, and the next person has to send it off by 2 p.m. and the next person has to send it off by 4 p.m. and the final person has to turn it in by 6 or 8 p.m., whatever, something like that, you know. Give them a window of time that the next person should turn in their part to the next person, and then the final time back to the teacher. And each time they go, they don't have to only collaborate and send the email to the next person, they can CC the teacher, so you can see where their assignment is going, like, and just open it up in your computer instead of your phone, so it won't override your current projects. It'll just bring it up on the browser and show you the video of where the project is at that stage. Okay, so no more questions. Thank you all for tuning in, and good luck. Breathe and rest. Make sure that, because your brain is being overloaded, make sure you take time for you and enjoy being home with your families now and being present with them more. Okay. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.